Welcome back, Happy Chappy. So this is negligence. So recently seen something, a clip. I didn't watch it or anything. I just seen the face front of it. Where it seemed like a mother and father and child and a Stanley knife. Which got me to thinking, oh, the child's got hold of the Stanley knife. And there's no blame here, but what I'm saying is when we've got a cluttered mind full of thought, we're not aware of the risks that we are leaving open as we move through our life to the ones that are around us. So we're caught up in the struggles of the thought while missing out on the dangers of the that we leave behind us for the younger that are surrounding us. And so if we were more responsible in who we are, in looking after who we are, we would be more careful in what we are doing. And which takes me to my child's granny. When she was younger, the child, her granny was doing washing. And she'd put a liquid tablet into the washing machine. But she'd forgot something that was upstairs. While the child was downstairs in the utilities where washing machine was, and had seen what was going on. Now, she wasn't even old enough to understand. She would have been crawling at the time. But she was able to manage to go to the washing machine, grab the tablet, as the granny had realised she'd forgotten something, and went up the stairs to get it. And by the time she got back, the child had swallowed the tablet. And thankfully, everything was okay. And I can only imagine how the granny was feeling, because I know within myself it was a horrible feeling. But what would have caused that was a clutter of thoughts, the monkey mind, where something that was forgotten, because there was so much going on in here, left negligence happening out here in what that person was doing, what the granny was doing, which caused the child to be in risk, in danger. And so this can happen to anyone. This is just an example where I'd seen in my life with people who were close to me. And so it becomes negligence because of the monkey mind. Now, if we sit with ourselves and we calm them thoughts down and we see what we are thinking, how we are thinking, and being more focused in what we do, then this may not have happened. As when thinking about doing the washing, there wouldn't have been a clutter of thoughts around that would take them away, that they would forget something, because you would have collected everything. And let's say you didn't, but you still forgot. Will you be aware of the people who's around you? You would have that empathy to care for the people that's around you. So you'd be watching what you do and the risks you are leaving open for they who are around you. And so you would close the door of the washing machine after placing the tablet in, not leaving it open while knowing the child was on the ground in that area. Leaving a risk open while you're placing your energy in this area, you're leaving the child magnetized to this area to see what's going on while you leave the area, while leaving the child alone in a dangerous situation. And so we must always be aware of the people who's around us, especially the children, and the things that we leave laying around. Now, I live on my own, but if there was a child to come into the house, I know I would have to move things that I have in my house to make sure that child was safe. And there can be mistakes made, like the granny made, easily, by anyone. But the chances slimming down the more we are consciously aware of ourselves in how we are thinking. But if our minds are scattered, we're taken away from what we are doing, and we're leaving openings of risk, of danger for they who are around us. And so we must be cautious of that. Because as I say, in what I seen in the face front of that clip was a child with a Stanley knife. And this could have been just an accident, just like the child's granny. But what I'm saying, that chances slimming down the more we are aware of who we are and what we are doing. Considering we have that empathy for the ones that are around us, we are caring as much for them as much as what we are doing, because we are aware of them and we want what's best for them in their safety, as that's our responsibility when they're children, to make sure that they're safe, while we take responsibility for our actions in what we're doing. And if we're leaving them open, not being responsible for they who we are looking after, as well as ourselves in looking after ourselves, then we're leaving a risk, a danger. As I say, the child was at risk. Then you bring that illness to the happening onto the granny, which spread on to myself and others who were there, in the pain, in the fear, bringing illness to many bodies to have to overcome. And as I say, thankfully the child was okay, but I can only imagine how the granny felt. As in, how I felt was horrible, so the granny must have felt way above that, because she was blaming herself. And as I said, there's no one to blame but the system that we live in. We need to be more aware of who we are and aware of the dangers that surrounds us in the things that we do that can affect others. And until we do that, we're walking around leaving danger around us. As I say, in my own home, I would have to move a lot of things around that would be at low level if there was a child in the house, because I know there's a risk of danger. And as everything has a risk of danger anyway, we must slimmen that down to protect the younger, to have that empathy, while we know that we are doing what's best in how we are thinking for who we are as well as who they are. This be Happy Chapa, love and peace.